Colder weather's here and it's time to call Premier for a checkup for only $49. Our trained professionals will inspect your heating and duct system. Technicians can help with indoor air quality as well as attic insulation, duct cleaning, and moisture barrier. Ask for details when you get your heating system checked up for only $49 by calling Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Offer ends 12/31/23. The speaker is from our community, went to school here, went to Middle Georgia College, played baseball, went on to minors, went into the majors, a lot of accomplishments in life. Always walked with the Lord, but really drew closer to Him through some relationships in baseball, in professional baseball. And you think about it at that level with that amount of fame, that amount of money that's coming to you, that amount of pressure that comes with it. You have to be a very strong and grounded person to stay close in your relationship with Christ, and that's what this man has done. Operates and serves in a ministry that's called Unlimited Potential Incorporated, UPI. What about that now? Unlimited Potential. That's strong. That's a great name. And so they feed into professional baseball players. That's what he does and the other men in the organization do, because that's what was given to him by a group of Christians. And, you know, just don't take it lightly, young men. I know you're young, you got your whole life in front of you, trusting that you do, and you see no harm in things. But man, when you ground yourself, when you look at who you are in Christ, when you know where your true value is, you'll go a lot farther in life, and things will go a lot better for you. So now we give you our speaker for tonight, Terry Evans. Come on forward.
Is this good? You guys can hear me? All right, cool. All right, well, it's good to be here. I'm glad to be here with you. Usually when I get asked to do something like this, I don't say yes right away. I like to ask if I can pray about it to see if this is something that God wants me to do or not. I don't want to just say yes to everything that I'm asked to do. Prayed about this opportunity, and I feel like God told me to be here tonight. And so I'm happy to be here. I do find that when I do this sort of thing, and this is typical of most audiences, usually when you speak to a crowd about this size, you usually have like 4 different types of people in the room. You got some people in the room that are pretty much not going to hear anything you say. They got something else going on in their mind, so you're just going to stand up here and speak for 15 minutes and not really get through. And then you got some people in the room where they kind of like what you're saying, and they feel like it resonates with them a little bit, but then shortly after they walk through the door, life goes back to normal and nothing really changes. And then you got a third group sometimes that they hear something they like and it does resonate with them, and they feel like, man, that really speaks to me. And so they walk out of here and they want to make some changes in life. They want to try new things, but then the second they're bumped, the second you're challenged, the second someone says something to you or tries to get you to go back in your old ways, you fall back in and you just go back to the way things were. And then there's a fourth group, usually in a crowd like this, where they hear what you're saying, all of a sudden it resonates, they hear something they like, they want to do something about it, and they walk out the door and they're a little bit different than when they came in, and they stay different. And so my hope is the fact that I feel like God wants me to be here tonight is that there's some men in this room who are part of that fourth group. And hopefully it's some players, some young men here, but who knows, maybe some coaches as well and some older men as well. You never know how this is going to work. I appreciate the introduction. So basically, I'm going to be up here for about 15 minutes. So if you'll just give me 15 minutes, we'll be good. But I wanted to start by saying, listen, about 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I was sitting right where you're sitting right now. And what I mean by that is not here in this building, not in here, but in the same phase of life that you're in. Basically, a high school athlete, being recognized for your athletic ability, what you've accomplished on the field, something that sets you apart, makes you different from everybody else around you. There's a lot of people in this city that played football this year. Most of them are not in this room. There's something about you that's unique, and you should be proud of that. And so you should enjoy the praise that you get, the honor that you get, the success that you've had, and remember what it feels like. And I know what it feels like, and it's a pretty good feeling. But I'm 41 now. A lot has happened in the last 20 plus years. A lot has happened in my life since I was sitting right there where you're sitting tonight. And I've learned a lot in these 20 years, and so tonight in these 15 minutes that we have together, I'd like to share some of that with you. I'd like to share with you what I would want my 16, 17, 18-year-old self to hear at an event like this. We're going to keep it super simple. I got two main things that I want you to hear tonight, but I want to start with a question. So, you're a high school athlete with your whole life in front of you. Your whole life in front of you. And I'm sure you got dreams. I'm sure you got some goals. I'm sure there are some things that you are hoping to accomplish in life. So what do you hope the next 20 years of your life is going to look like? When you're 41, like me, and you're looking back over the last 20 years of your life, what are you hoping those 20 years are going to look like? And I want to put that another way. And the wording is pretty important. But who do you want to be in 20 years? Like, what kind of man do you want to be in 20 years? What kind of man do you want to become? Because you see, as a young man growing up, most people like to come up to you and ask you something along the lines of, what do you want to do when you grow up? Anybody ever asked you that? What do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? And then you grow up and you get older, and as an adult, people ask you a very similar question. They just say, hey, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? But there's a better question that needs to be asked. There's a better question that I want to ask you, because there's a better question that is so much more important than what do you want to do when you grow up? And that question is who do you want to become when you grow up? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And before we answer that question, we might need to start with a more basic question. And that question is this: who are you? Like, after this event, if I just sat at your table and it was just me and you and we're just talking and hanging out, and I just asked you, like, hey man, who are you? How would you answer that question? What would your response be? And I want you to think about how you would answer that question. And I want you to hear this, and this is pretty much the theme of the night. But I want to tell you something. You are not what you do. You are not what you have. And you are not what other people say about you. That is not who you are. Those are three things. Those are three big things. Those are three big lies that we are tempted to believe, especially high-performing athletes. I see it all the time. As Ron shared, I work with professional athletes for a living. I meet with professional athletes on a daily basis. These are the three big lies that every single professional athlete is tempted to believe. These are the lies that will lead us to miss out on the life that we were born to live. And so, we just met. We don't know each other, so let me share a little bit about my story and why I want to tell you that. So, as you heard, I grew up here. I grew up in Dublin, born and raised here. I I graduated from Trinity Christian School in the year 2000. I came up through the Dublin City School System, but then transferred to Trinity my freshman year. I played basketball, baseball, ran track out there. But baseball was the sport that I had the most potential in as far as like playing at another level. So I graduated from Trinity, ended up going to Middle Georgia Junior College at the time on an academic scholarship, which was interesting, but on an academic scholarship. I actually didn't play much my freshman year. We had a really, really good team. And so I had to put in some work to earn a spot in that starting lineup. But as things worked out, right before the conference tournament my freshman year, our third baseman gets hurt. I get an opportunity to go in there, and I'm ready for it. And I have a great conference tournament. We make it to the regionals. I have a great regional tournament. We make it to the Junior College World Series out in Colorado. I have a great World Series, and 1 week later, I'm drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, just like that. That's how quick it can happen. I didn't even know the draft was going on the day I got drafted. That's how off my radar it was. I got a call, didn't even know what was going on. That's how quick it can happen. I decided to go back to Middle Georgia, play my sophomore year. Had a great sophomore season. Actually, if any of you know Todd Hogan at the time, he held the stolen base record at Middle Georgia. My coach had put me at first base. I thought that was going to, give the scouts the opinion that I was slow. So I said, well, I know what I'll do. I'll just beat Todd Hogan's record. And I did beat it, by the way. So beat a stolen base record, got drafted again, ended up signing with the St. Louis Cardinals after my sophomore season. Everything in my life seemed to be working out just like I thought it should. Everything was going good. I had a really good first year with the Cardinals. I was considered one of their top prospects. My second year got off to a hot start, and so things were going good. But then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, injured my hip flexor and ended up having to shut it down a little bit. And for the first time in my life, I couldn't play the game that I loved. I was away from home, and I had no idea what to do with myself. No idea. No idea what to do with myself, what to do with my time. And for some reason, I felt lost, completely lost. Now remember that question. Who are you? Who are you? Because at that point in my life, I thought I knew who I was, but that moment in my life exposed the fact that I had no idea who I was. You see, my whole life, I had viewed who I was through the lens of being a good athlete. And so all of a sudden, when I wasn't having that success that I was used to having and I wasn't able to play and I started questioning my future in the game, I wasn't sure who I was anymore and I had no idea what to do about that. Now, I want to stop right here for a minute because this is the first thing that I want you to hear tonight. There is so much more to each one of you than your ability as an athlete. There's so much more to each one of you. You are more than what you're able to accomplish on that field. And I want you to know that. I want you to believe that. I want you to live into that. There is so much more to you than what you could do on that field. And that right there is one of the biggest temptations that we face as human beings, and especially a temptation that those who compete at a high level in sports face. I see this all the time with the professional athletes that I work with today. The temptation is to take on an identity that is completely tied to your performance as an athlete. To basically view yourself and who you are, basically to see your value as something that is based on what you do and how well you can do it. And that's a temptation that everybody's facing. And it's one that traps athletes all the time. All the time. And it trapped me. And as soon as I started struggling on the field, I immediately felt like I wasn't good enough. I didn't know who I was anymore. And I started scrambling for ways to start making me feel better about myself and to feel like I was someone who was worthy of respect. And so that right there began a cycle in my life that almost ruined my life and my career in the game, 100%. Man, I began to do all sorts of things that other people were doing, even though I knew they were wrong. I was going out every single night, drinking almost every single night. Not only would I do that, I would try to drink more than you because to me it was all competition. I was going to prove that I was better than you. I was trying to prove that I was somebody. Again, I didn't know who I was. So if I couldn't do it on the field, I was going to do it somewhere else. I was going to prove to you that I was somebody. Started getting wrapped up in some other stuff I shouldn't have been wrapped up in. Some stuff that I'm embarrassed to even admit. We just met, so I don't want to tell you all of it. Stupid stuff, man. Stupid. Stuff you get arrested for, stupid stuff. Just ruining everything. Doing whatever it took to prove that I was still somebody. And listen, at first it was just to get some attention because I viewed myself based on what other people thought about me. And so I would do things to try to get people to respect me. And then what happened is when I got healthy and I started playing again, I developed all these bad habits, this lifestyle that I was living. I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't do that and compete on the field. So then I started playing terrible. So then I'm embarrassed about how I'm playing. I feel like I'm not good enough as an athlete anymore. Man, I'm telling you, downward spiral, just chaos. Just completely throwing everything away. And that continued for 2 years. 2 years of my life. 2 rough seasons. And after 2 rough seasons, I called a teammate of mine. I said, hey, man, I'm done. I'm sick of this. I'm done. Season was over. Called him. I'm out. So what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know, but I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so for me, that was it. I didn't plan to come back next season. That was it for me. And so here I was 23 years old. I had just finished my 4th year of professional baseball, and I was still in single A. I don't know how much you guys know about baseball, but single A is not very high on the ladder. Just spent my 4th year there. And I just had the worst season of my career. I was living a life full of bad decisions, and I was quitting the game that I loved, and I was completely lost. I had no idea who I was and no idea what I was going to do next. And that's when something happened. That's when something happened that woke me up and changed my life forever. 3 months after I told a teammate of mine that I was done, I was visiting a friend of mine in Los Angeles, and just went out there to hang out for a week. Just to go out in LA, have a good time. Our last night there, he had a buddy who's playing in some band in this bar in Hollywood, so he wanted to go listen to his buddy play. I was like, great, that sounds good. So we're listening to his buddy. It's kind of loud in there. So I walk around out of that room to a bar in another room, and I sit at the bar, order a drink, and I'm sitting there waiting on my drink. And this girl comes by. She's going to order a drink too, but she comes up to me, and I don't know this girl. I haven't talked to her all night. And she's like, "Hey, what's that bracelet? What's that bracelet mean?" And at the time, I was wearing a WWJD bracelet, and I didn't know why she was asking me that. And so I said, "Well, it means what would Jesus do?" And she looked at me like, "Well, why are you wearing that?" Nobody's ever asked me. I don't know. I'm a Christian. That's why I'm wearing it. And then she looked at me as if she saw right through my nonsense. And she said, "If you're a Christian, what are you doing here?" And then that was it. I didn't get her number. We didn't hang out. I don't even remember what happened next. She must have just got her drink and left. But that messed with me. Because she, of all people, someone who didn't even know me, saw me for who I really was and saw that I was faking the whole thing. And I had a long flight home the next day from Atlanta, thinking about her question. What are you doing here? And even though it's a different question, the way she asked that question and the context in which she asked it made it the exact same question that I keep asking tonight. Who are you? That's essentially what she was asking me. Who are you? And I began to realize in that moment and over the next few weeks that I was wasting my life. I was wasting my life. I was wasting the athletic ability that God had given me. I was wasting the incredible opportunity that He had given me to play this game at a very high level. I was wasting all of it. And God was graciously waking me up and doing something inside of me that could change my life forever if I would just respond to it. If I would just trust him. If I would just believe that he is real and that he wants what's best for me. And so 1 month later, after that event in Hollywood, I remember, got down on my knees right beside my bed, and I just told God everything. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just told him everything. Told him I'm sorry for the way I've been living my life, the decisions I've been making, for the way I misrepresent him, proclaim his name one day and then go act a fool the next day. Told him I was sorry. I didn't know what else to say. That's the only prayer I knew how to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've been doing. And I told him, I was like, hey, from now on, I'm all in. Whatever you want, I'm all in. And I'm going to go back and play. I'm going to go back and play one more season because up to this point, I've just been wasting it. So I'm going to go back and play one more season. And if I have another bad season, I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter. I just want to play for you. I just want to show you that I'm thankful. I'm just going to give it everything I got and I'm going to do it right. And if I have another bad season, you want me to do something else, I'm fine with that too. It doesn't matter. If you want me to keep playing, maybe I'll have a good season, I'll keep playing. It doesn't matter. And I meant that. I was down for whatever. But this time I was serious. This time I was all in. And so, he showed up. I admitted everything. I apologized for everything. I asked him to forgive me, to change my life. And you know what happened? He did exactly that. He showed up. He proved to me that he was real and that he does in fact change people's lives just like we hear about and read about. This is not just some like church sermon stuff. This is not like Jesus talk or get all the Bible answers right. This is a God who saw me in my mess and who still loved me enough to come and get me and wake me up. And when I cried out to him and said I wanted to be different, he did it for me. He proved himself to be real. A God who does show up and change people's lives. And they barely have to do anything. Just cry out to him and be honest with him. And so the second thing, I told you I only got 2 things for you. The second thing I want you to hear tonight is listen, the first thing is that big question, who are you? The second one is you will never fully know who you are unless you know who God is. You will never fully know who you are unless you know who God is. You will never know who you are, who you fully are, unless you know the one who has brought you into this world, who is watching you, who cares about you, who is pursuing you, who loves you, who wants you to know him as he really is. Not necessarily as he's always represented or always talked about, but as he really is. Listen, a wrong view of God will lead always to a wrong view of yourself. Always. I want you to try something real quick. I've done this with a few of the pro guys that I work with. A little visualization. Just in the athletic world, we're used to this sort of thing. Visualization is a good thing. But I want you right there where you are. Here's what I want to try something real quick. If you'll do it for me. I know the TVs are going on, all that stuff. But if we'll close our eyes for a minute. I just want you to try something real quick. I want you right now, in your mind, to just do the best you can, but just imagine, visualize, standing before God. What does he look like? Notice it. I want you to look and see what he looks like. I want you to notice his body language, his posture, the expression on his face. All right, you don't have to share what you saw, But here's the thing. I've tried this exercise with a few guys before. It's very revealing. Whatever you picture in that moment is actually very revealing of how you view God. And again, I've done this before with different guys, but sometimes you get guys and some of the descriptions are, he looks very far away, or he looks very serious, very strict. He looks disappointed. Sometimes he's got his arms crossed, just looking like, when you going to get it right? If any of you viewed God in that way at all, I'm here to tell you, you got a wrong view of who God is. Because that's not what God looks like, and that's not how he looks at you. God is so gracious. He's so patient. He watches you. He cares about you. He wants what is best for you. And he has proven it in human history by coming into this world and dying on a cross for us. He's proven how much he cares about you. He's already proven it. And so if you got a view of God where he looks angry at you, or he's disappointed in you, or he's strict, wants nothing to do with you, you got the wrong view of God. God is gracious. He's merciful. He's patient. Here I was dishonoring him, misrepresenting to the people around me, and yet he didn't give up on me, and he never held that against me. He just forgave me and said, if you want all in, let's do this. And life hasn't been the same since. I began to see that I wasn't what I do, I wasn't what I have, and I wasn't what other people say about me. I was a loved son of the Creator and King of the universe. A son of the Creator and King of the universe. That's who I am, and nobody could take that away from me except my own refusal to embrace that kind of relationship with him. And that changed the trajectory of my life. God stepped in and helped me. He didn't have to do that, but God, just out of his mercy and love, stepped in and woke me up through some random girl in a bar in Hollywood, California. And I don't know, but maybe for someone here tonight, he's trying to do the same thing to you through some random speaker at a banquet here in Dublin, Georgia. I don't know. But I do know he wanted me to be here. And I felt like this is what he wanted me to share. Listen, God loves you. He's proven it through the life of Jesus. If you want to know what God is like, man, I can't tell you enough. Just study the life of Jesus. He's shown us what God is really like. And listen, there is so much I would love to sit here and share with you. We don't have the time. I'm not even very good at it in this sort of context. But I'm just telling you, it's changed my life. It's real. This is not just something that, we talk about on Sunday and then we just leave it on Sunday. It's real. It changed my life. And I swear to you, I'm so passionate about this and believe in this so much and care enough that, listen, if you got any doubts, any questions, anything you want to talk about, any further conversation you want to have, I'm available, man. All you have to do is come up to me and talk to me after this. I'll give you my number. I'm not worried about that. We can talk. We can meet. You can text. I don't care. I'm here for you. I want you to know what I now know. And I want you to get it at a young age before you make some of the foolish decisions that I made just because you don't know who you are. And so we got to wrap this up because I'm past my time. But listen, the story ended well, or the story continues, I guess. But the way the athletic career ended, so I decided to go back and play one more season, like I told you. I told God, let's do it. I'm all in, whatever. I decided to go back. I was going to play one more season. I ended up playing 7 more seasons, 6 of those being in AAA, parts of 3 of those being in the big leagues. And listen, I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, trying to tell you, follow Jesus and he'll make all your dreams come true. Follow Jesus and you'll just start killing it on the field. That's not what I'm trying to say. I definitely had some ups and downs along the way. My career actually ended short because of 2 season-ending injuries back to back. But I do think the reason I started to experience a lot more success in the game was because I discovered who I was. And it freed me up, man. It freed me up. I played free. I was fearless. I didn't care. Failure didn't bother me anymore. Because it wasn't attached to who I was. I played with so much peace it didn't matter. And when the time came, I was able to walk away from the game that I loved so much because I knew Jesus was going to take care of me. And it was all good. I wasn't worried about it. And so I retired from baseball in 2012. As you heard earlier, I immediately came on staff with Unlimited Potential. We work with professional athletes. We help them discover that they too are more than what they do, what they have, and what other people say about them. They too are loved sons of the Creator and King of the universe. And just like for you and me, he invites them to experience the kind of life that Jesus has made possible for all of us. So, the two big things I want to put before you tonight are these two questions. Who are you? And who is God? Very simple. Not simple to answer, but simple to think about. Who are you? And who is God? Because your answer to those two questions will be the two most important things in determining who you will become when you grow up. You are not what you do. You are not what you have. You are not what other people say about you. You are a loved son of the Creator and King of the universe. You're his boy. Nobody can take that from you. You don't have to worry about your life. You can trust Jesus and experience the life you were made to live. I appreciate you guys. I feel like I appreciate this opportunity. I would love to close by just praying for all of you, if that's cool. Father in heaven, I don't know, it always feels a little overwhelming to come and try to speak on your behalf. I just want everybody in here to know you as you really are, and to experience the reality of your presence, the reality of your life-changing power. I want everybody in here to be set free from fear, from worrying about failure, from the opinions and judgments of others, from the lies of the enemy. And I want everybody in here to experience the life that you have made available to us. And so I do pray that if I have said anything that resonates with anybody in here, that you would give them the courage to either talk to me or talk to somebody about it. But Father, I thank you for this time. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for these young men in here. And I ask that you would do a mighty work in each one of them and that they would become leaders in their social circles, in their circles of influence, and that they would not be afraid to be different. You have called us to be different. And I ask that they would not be afraid to be different and to truly go all in and live for you. Lord, may it be so. And I ask for this in your name, Lord Jesus. Thank you. Amen.
North, south, east, or west, Friendly Gus is on your way today. Fuel up with Friendly Gus's delicious breakfast, made fresh every day. Your wallet and your belly will thank you. Choose from our 20, 40, and 60-piece chicken finger and wing platters. And don't forget the tater logs. Our food is always fresh and our service is always friendly. Friendly Gus, on your way today. Also shop Cochran Brothers Cash and Carry at 320 South Jefferson in Dublin for additional items like paper products, chicken wings, bulk drinks, spices, sauces, and more.
I'm Glenn Register, and on behalf of all the employees at Hometown Supply, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you. We have everything from four-wheelers and golf carts to cell phones and computers to flat screens and appliances. We have affordable payment plans to fit your budget. Just remember, if you can't do business at Hometown Supply, you just can't do business.
Hi, I'm Tom Dominy. Here at Dublin Wood Nelson, we pride ourselves on providing the industry's highest quality products at the most competitive pricing. We are a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry, and we can answer your questions and help you get the parts and equipment you need. From mowing to Renee, we carry the plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products you need from the brands you trust. We also carry a great lineup of Milwaukee tools. At Dublin Wood Nelson, our goal is the long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. If you have a question, or if you're looking for a hard-to-find part, give us a call. Our experts are ready to help. Order online, give us a call, or come by at 507 Airport Road in Dublin. We're committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day.
Hey, I'm TJ with Dublin Outdoors and Power Sports. We're Middle Georgia's largest Can-Am ATV and side-by-side dealer. And we have all the accessories to make your Can-Am look and perform at its best. Come on down and see us today. We can help you make this Christmas more exciting and enjoyable for the entire family. Dublin Outdoors and Power Sports, 301 North Jefferson Street in downtown Dublin. So join us in celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone.
Hey, I failed to mention on the introduction that Terry is the chaplain for Atlanta Braves, has been for a decade. I mean, he's around a lot of strong people. He saw them win it all. He's part of all that, feeding into those people every day. You know, he's here, FCA's here, you know, Spence Lovett, Kevin Tanner, they're here. You know, a lot of times when we want to go work out, or we're supposed to go work out, and we're on a routine, and we don't want to go. I don't want to go, but I'm gonna go because I need to go. I got it down. I'm gonna go, and then you go and you get an incredible workout in. It's kind of like hearing this message, and you sit there and you say, "Man, he's just talking. I'm gonna get my award and going home." That's the ones that really need to hear what he's saying, the word he's bringing to you. And just take that time. The reason I'm mentioning FCA is they got Bibles back here. Just pick up one and read it a little bit. Just pick up one and read through John. Just start there. Or go to somebody. It might not hit you now, it might hit you later. We're just trying to plant seeds. I'm going to call up a man who is a coach, who is a stand-up guy, who when I first met him, he's coaching basketball. And I said, "How you enjoy coaching?" And he said, "Ron, it just gives me an opportunity to feed into young men's lives." And that's what we're talking about here. When you do something to help represent and feed into other people's lives. We're almost all here now. So I'm going to call up Chuck Hill. Come on up, Chuck. This man's the same type. Moved in here with Connection Church. Meets downtown in the theater now. Anytime you want to talk to somebody who's a straight-up guy, this guy will speak to you. He's going to be calling out the names tonight. One of the 7 people from the community helped us compile this list, really studied, and, we could split hairs here and there, but we got some great names. So now we ask George from Premier Heating and Air. Come on up. He's going to be presenting the awards tonight. Chuck will be calling them. Chuck, say a little word for us.
Thank you, Mr. Dill. Guys, I coach and teach out at West Lawrence. I recognize a lot of you. I recognize all the head coaches. You have great head coaches, and I really appreciate TV 35 and Premier Heating and Air for doing this, because it gives us a chance to get us all together, all 4 schools in the county that probably don't ever get to do this, and get our best athletes in here, some guys that are going to be playing at the next level next year, some guys that have potential to play at the next level in the future, and you get to see them right now, develop a relationship, and talk to them, and it's exciting to see. You see these TVs been going the whole time, and in this county and in this community, there's some really good football players, and we get the chance to honor you guys tonight, and we're excited to do that. So a couple of housekeeping things. When I call your name, if you'll come this way to not walk in front of the cameras, receive your award, pause for a picture, and then go back and sit down. Make sure to stay afterwards if you can to take pictures. Premier also has a t-shirt they're going to give you after the fact, so if you'd like your shirt, make sure to hang around. So we'll get the awards started tonight. This is the TV 35 All-Star team for this year, and we're going to start with quarterback. And our first team quarterback is Micah O'Neal from Dublin. Our second team quarterback is Ty Cummings from West Lawn. Now we'll move to running back. With the running back, we have two first team guys. The first one is Xavier Bostic from Dublin. Our other first team running back, Shannon Atkins from West Lawn. For our second team running backs, we have Norian King from East Lawrence. And Boots Benson from Trinity. Now for our wide receivers, also two first team and two second team here. The first one for the first team is Eli Hartwell from Dublin. Also first team, Kyan Sneed from East Lawrence. For second team wide receiver, Cam Clark, West Lawrence. And Johnny Williams, West Lawrence. And let me go ahead and say, if I mispronounce any names tonight, I apologize in advance. I'm going to do the best I can. But now moving to tight end, we have one first team and one second team. Our first team tight end, Evan Thompson, East Lawrence. Second team tight end, Cornelius Rozier, Dublin. Now moving to the guys up front. These are the guys that rarely get any glory. I know you O-linemen, you do most of the dirty work and really don't get recognized. You're not the guy usually on the front page of the paper, so great opportunity right here to recognize you guys. We have 2 first team and 2 second team at offensive tackle. The first one for the first team is Tamaj Carswell from Dublin. And Grady Howell, West Lawn. Second team at offensive tackle, Justin Ashley, East Lawrence. Justin's not with us tonight. We'll make sure he gets that award. And also Luke Bennett from Trinity. Now to the offensive guards. First team, Nasir Johnson, double. Also first team, Jameer Ushry, West Lawrence. Second team for offensive guard, Caleb Jackson, East Lawrence. And Cameron Shepard, Trinity. And now for the guys that hold it all together in the middle, our centers. First team, we have 1 recipient, and second team, we have 1 also. Our first team center, Brennan McLeod, Dublin. Miss Pat Brock, raise your hand so everybody know where to look when they get up here. Look down at Miss Brock, she's taking the picture. Our second team center, Marquez Harris, East Lawrence. And now for our overall athlete award, and these guys, the committee felt like were good at multiple things, very athletic and contributed multiple ways to their team. 1 first team recipient, 1 second team recipient. The first team athlete, Ty Cummings, West Lawrence. Our second team athlete, Micah O'Neill. Now for our kickers. Our first team kicker, Connor Tanner, East Lawrence. Second team kicker, Clyde Warren, West Lawrence. Let's give a quick round of applause to our offensive recipients tonight.
North, south, east, or west, Friendly Gus is on your way today. Fuel up with Friendly Gus's delicious breakfast, made fresh every day. Your wallet and your belly will thank you. Choose from our 20, 40, and 60-piece chicken finger and wing platters. And don't forget the tater logs. Our food is always fresh and our service is always friendly. Friendly Gus, on your way today. Also shop Cochran Brothers Cash and Carry at 320 South Jefferson in Dublin for additional items like paper products, chicken wings, bulk drinks, spices, sauces, and more.
Another year is winding down here at Dublin Chevrolet GMC, and we all know what that means. With more inventory and better deals, we're gearing up for a spectacular holiday season. So there's no better time to find the car of your dreams or the truck or SUV of your choice here at Dublin Chevrolet GMC. And don't forget to come in and register for our annual 12 Days of Christmas giveaway now. Just remember, we do Christmas well here at Dublin Chevrolet GMC.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing. Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffin Insurance in Dublin and Augusta if auto owners make sense for you.
Hi, I'm Perry Williamson, and we've been baking here at Williamson's Bakery since 1927. In 1965, my grandfather, Merle Williamson, hung our name on this bakery. Ever since then, people have been stopping in for the Williamson's tradition. We invite you to do the same here at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, or catch us on Facebook, or just come get you some.
Now we'll move to the defensive side of the ball. We'll start with the defensive linemen. We have 4 first team and 4 second team. Obviously, there are more defensive linemen that play in games. So we'll begin with the first team on the defensive line, Nasir Johnson, Dublin. Brandon Chapman, Dublin. Wesley Stanley, East Lawrence. Cam Shepard, Trinity. Now for our second team defensive lineman, Kamari McCray, Dublin. Luke Bennett, Trinity. Ethan Casey Gotten, West Lawrence. Jordan Hall, West Lawrence. And now for our linebackers. Most of the captains of the defense, we have 3 first team and 3 second team. We'll begin with, for first team linebacker, Jordan Spencer, West Lawrence. Damari Foster, Dublin. Xavier Bostic, Dublin. Now for our second team linebackers, Jacob Aldridge, East Lawrence. Carson Shepard, Trinity. And Jatorian Parker, West Lawrence. And now for our defensive backs. We have several on the first team and several on the second team. So we'll begin with the first team defensive back, Martravius O'Neal, Dublin. Cayenne Sneed, East Lawrence. Malachi O'Neal, Dublin. Hampton Gross, Trinity. And Ty Sneed, East Lawrence. And now for our second team defensive backs, Micah O'Neal, Dublin. Therese Sneed, East Lawrence. Boots Vinson, Trinity. And Javon Hill, West Lawrence. Now we'll recognize our punters. Our first team punter, Connor Tanner, East Lawrence. Second team punter, Caden Baggett, West Lawrence. Now we'll have our Offensive Player of the Year. This is what the people felt like was the overall best offensive player in the county this year, and that goes to Xavier Bostic, Dublin. We have co-defensive players of the year. These are guys that the committee felt like if you took them off their defense is much weaker than they were with these guys. And so with the co-defensive player of the year, the first one that we'll have is Nasir Johnson, Dublin. Our other defensive player of the year, Jordan Spencer, West Lawrence. Next we have the overall MVP, and again, this is a player that felt like if was off of their team would not be as good as they were with him on the team. And the overall MVP for this year is Ty Cummings, West Lawrence. Let's give a round of applause for our defensive players of the year and award winners. The players have gotten all the awards so far, but we do want to recognize our Coach of the Year, and our Coach of the Year for this year is Coach Roger Holmes, Dublin. Remember, before I turn it over to Mr. Deal, make sure to stay for pictures afterwards. Make sure you get your t-shirt before you leave. Again, thank you to TV. Let's give TV 35 a round of applause for hosting this. And again, Premier Heating and Air for the meal and providing the awards.
Hey, thank all y'all for coming out again. We got t-shirts, got them by sizes over here. You wear them with pride. You look around the room and you see each other, and then you're going to be out in the community. And whether you go to the same school, whether you're in the same neighborhood, whatever the case may be, you got an identity together now. So kind of look out for each other. If you see a brother going wrong, you pull him back in. Because that's what you do. You do what's right. Your coach teaches it that every day on the field. He strives to get you. When you don't do something right, you go back and you do it again. And you go back and you do it again. And you go back and you do it again if you need to. That's why you get up every day and you grab that word and you just get a little bit out of it. And before long it sets in and starts to change your life. And all of a sudden you get it. You get it and you help other people. So appreciate you coming. You know, like I say, if you're the one sitting there and you don't really want to hear it or you roll your eyes, maybe you need to look deep inside, maybe talk to yourself a little bit, all right? We appreciate you coming. Thank y'all so much to Premier Heating and Air for sponsoring this. Without them, man, I went to him and just spoke of it earlier in the week. Wanted to do this for many years. Started at TV 35 in 1999 and have always wanted to do this. And lo and behold, this year we were able to do it. And it's going to go forward. It's going to continue. We want to recognize young men like you all, the leaders in our community. So do your job. Be a leader. Make the right choices. Thank you all for coming. Have a good night.
Have you heard? Premier is now offering up to $2,000 instant rebate on the purchase of a qualified HVAC system and up to $2,000 federal tax credit. Great news with tax time just around the corner. Financing is available for all homeowners, so call Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Offer ends 12/31/23.